All right, so you guys had the first part of this section on Friday. And, oh, it just occurred to me that I forgot to make up the answer key for you guys, which I was going to do. Shoot. But what I took from Friday is it seemed like some of you guys were having trouble with the vertex. Like that seemed like the hardest part. So we're going to kind of cover that again today. And I'll try to make sure to do it, write some stuff down about it, things like that. So that hopefully it's, not quite as confusing. But today is just a continuation of Friday. It's just more quadratic things. So whenever you see that word quadratic, it just means like a squared equation, like x squared. Okay, so we're going to try to find the axis of symmetry from a formula in this. Like, if I remember right, I think we have 3 things we're covering today. Go ahead, Luke, you got a question? Oh, you unmuted yourself. I thought maybe you had a question. Hey, just be thankful you didn't say anything awkward, all right? So I think there's 3 things we're doing today. And I'm going to guess. Luke, you felt so embarrassed you left the meeting? What? Austin, make sure you make fun of him for this. So it shouldn't take nearly as long as what we did on Friday, because if I remember right, on Friday we went even to after lunch. So when you have an equation, oh, I gotta spell equation right. That's embarrassing. You should be semi-used to this formula because I did it last week on Thursday, I think it was. So this is like the generic form of a quadratic equation. And A, B, and C just represent different numbers. And if that term isn't there, that number's a 0. So it just represents certain numbers. Well, the axis of symmetry we can find without even knowing what it looks like. So if you're just given an equation, you can just plug in the 2 numbers that you know and find where the middle of the parabola is. And then this afternoon, after lunch, I'll probably go through you guys' homework again. I saw a couple people resubmitted some assignments from last week. That's perfect. You absolutely can do that. So like if you got a 0 on something, that doesn't mean that's going to be the grade. I tried writing little notes as to why you got a 0 if you did. For most people, it was when you graphed the parabolas. A lot of people just drew some pictures with like nothing with it. And I don't know if I have 0 idea where you got the pictures from. Some people, it looked like they were just drawing something in, random pictures. Make sure you kind of have like the table to go with it, like work. So that's really what it was from. So you're certainly welcome to just put that extra little part on and then resubmit it, and I can give you credit for it. Okay, so let's do an example. So let's say we have y equals x squared plus 3x plus 4. The axis of symmetry is going to be at x equals negative b over 2a. Now, if you guys are taking notes, you'll kind of notice how I tried circling that, something like that. Do whatever you can to try to like make this stand out so that when we're taking our chapter test, this is something that's probably super easy to forget by the time we get to the end of the chapter. And there's nothing wrong with you guys looking it up to use it again. So if you're taking notes, you know, kind of do something so that you could find it easily. Hattie, do you think you could help me out figuring out what A, B, and C are from this purple equation? Okay. And otherwise, I can walk you through it or help you with it too. A might be the hardest one. How about B? Oh, go for it. Okay. So up here, you kind of see that I wrote ax squared plus bx plus c. So a is the number that's on the x squared, b is the number that's on the x, and c is the number by itself. So this one that's written in purple, what would be a, what would be b, and what would be c? So what's the number on the x? Oh, okay. What's the number on the x? We'll go with that. 3. So then that's going to be b. The number that's on the x is always going to be b. The number by itself is c, which we don't need this time, but we will coming up, so that's why we're doing it now. How about what's the number by itself? Okay, perfect. Now, do you want to do a, or do you want me to pass it on to somebody else? I certainly can, thank you. Who should we go with? We should go with... Let's scroll down. Oh, Luke's back. Okay, Luke, you can help me with A. What's the number that's on the x squared? So there isn't a number shown. Do you remember what number it is when yeah, perfect. So when they don't write a number, it's a 1. So if the number was supposed to be a 0, they just wouldn't even write that x squared. Okay, good. Perfect. So then I'm just going to put these numbers in their spots. So negative of 3 over 2 times 1. So the axis of symmetry would be at negative 1.5. And definitely once you figure these out, they go really fast. It's just kind of strange at first. We haven't had to do any of these. I'll write a couple more examples up here. Actually, I'll just put this 1, and then if we need some more, I can just write some, make up some more. Do you guys feel like you could do this one on your own already, or do you want me to walk you guys through this one again? I'm not sure where you're at. Who knows? Maybe some people get this completely, and some people have no idea what we're talking about. Devar, you got a question? Oh, okay. Got it. Then I will absolutely just kind of, if you feel like you really understand this, you're welcome to just kind of do it on your own and see if you did it right. Otherwise, I'll kind of walk you guys through this one again. Emilio, do you think the first thing we need to do is we need to figure out what A, B, and C are in the equation, because our axis of symmetry needs to know the B number and the A number. Emilio, do you think you could help me identify them? Did you get that part? Okay. What's the A? Perfect. How about B? Excellent. Excellent. And definitely once you get this down, it's never any different. So A is just always the number on the x squared, B is the number on the x, C is the number by itself. And we're going to have quite a few formulas as this chapter that deal with A, B, and C. So that's kind of why I'm making sure to talk about all three of them. Axis of symmetry doesn't, but the other ones will. Okay, so then I put a negative sign, I put my B number, double the A number. So this one, the middle of the parabola, would be at negative 1/4. Because that's all we're trying to find. When you find an axis of symmetry, you're trying to find the middle of a parabola. And we don't necessarily need to be able to see it to find it. Do you guys want me to put up another example for you to try on your own? How are you feeling on this topic? Maybe you guys could put like a 0 to 5 in the chat if you don't want to speak up, because that's okay. You guys kind of seem to like doing that without having to speak up. And if you're on camera, you can honestly just use your hand too. You don't even have to type. Okay. Perfect. I'll move on then, because you guys are absolutely giving me that indication. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, you just hit it on accident. Okay. Now I kind of purposely have a terrible picture here, because these questions are kind of, you're going to get them. And so that's the only reason I'm teaching this topic like this, right? Because otherwise, to me, if you have a picture, I have no idea why you wouldn't just use the picture to find the answer. So do know that if you have a picture and you're able to figure it out from the picture, because this would be the vertex, right? The vertex is right there. If you can figure out the answer from the picture, I'm okay with you writing that answer. I'm going to show it to you how the book presents it, because the book actually kind of lines up with the MCA test and stuff like that. But for all practical purposes, if you have a picture, use the picture. Like, the only reason you'd want to do this work is if you didn't have a picture. So I can tell that this graph crosses the x-axis at -2 and 0. These are the intercepts, the zeros. Like, it has different names. Well, the axis of symmetry, and the reason I even care about the axis of symmetry is the vertex is always on the axis of symmetry. So the axis of symmetry is right in the middle. So we did this on Friday, where you're going to add the two numbers and then divide by 2 to find out the axis of symmetry. Well, if I know the axis of symmetry is at x equals -1, I can plug -1 into the equation to find the vertex. And the other reason I don't mind taking this time to go over this is because it's part of the next topic. So it's not like this is going to waste. Or fully going to waste. So I'm going to go and take the original equation, and I'm going to plug the x number I got from the axis of symmetry into x. So I do the squared first and get +1. The negative stays on the +1. -2 times -1 is +2. So I end up getting 1. This 100% is not going to come natural to you. And so that's why I wanted to make sure to actually write some words along with this one, because I don't always do that. A lot of times if we do examples, I don't necessarily feel like need to have a lot of writing. This one, I think it benefits it if you are able to write something down with it to explain what you're even trying to do. Because otherwise, when you go back and try to do it again later, like a week from now, it's really hard to remember. How is this? Is this look okay, or is this just like leaps and bounds harder than what we just did? Leaps and bounds harder? Okay. So I'll put up another example, and then maybe we'll kind of halfway do it together. Because it's a lot of info. Okay, so let's say you are given, I'll have to make one up here, x squared minus 4x. I'll try to make it similar to the one we just did. And then the picture you would have, it would cross at 0 and 4. And it would look like this somewhat. I actually don't even know the height because I just made up the question. So this one we can't look at a graph. Okay, so if I know crosses at 0 and 4, well, I know the middle of the whole graph. Like, I kind of already know the answer, but I'll just go through the work to show it. I already know the middle is going to be at 2, because that's in the middle of 0 and 4. But to show your work, you take the two zeros and find their average. So this is your axis of symmetry. This is going to be the x number of the vertex. So your vertex is going to have this as the first number. Rocio, do you think you understand these enough to remember how to tell me to find the second number of the vertex? Because I know the vertex is right there, and I know it's going to be 2 something. Do you remember how to find the second number? Perfect. So I'm going to go back to my original equation, and I'm going to take this answer I just found, and I'm going to put it in place of the x's. Now this one definitely has easier numbers. So 4 minus 8 is negative 4. This is going to be the y number of your vertex. So my vertex is a 2, negative 4. What do we got? Oh, we got 20 minutes to lunch. We're good. So I'll get down to the third topic here. This homework is definitely going to take you more time than Fridays. Fridays was probably decently quick. Okay, so the third topic is finding the vertex from an equation, which we kind of just did. But finding the first number is slightly different. That's really the only thing different. Okay, so first thing we want to find is the axis of symmetry. The question right before this, we found the axis of symmetry because we had a picture and we kind of just went in the middle. The axis of symmetry, if we have an equation, is what we did to start today off. So if you have an equation, the axis of symmetry is negative b over 2a. Now, if you memorize this equation quickly, that's fine. I'm okay with you not memorizing it. Like, that was the whole point of trying to take the notes and highlighting it, things like that. But this is where the middle of a parabola would be from an equation. Let's see, I don't know. Sam, do you think you could help me identify A, B, and C? Sure. Do you think you could help me figure out A, B, and C on the equation? Like, I can scroll back up if you don't remember what I'm talking about. So a is always the number on the x squared. B is always the number on the x. So I don't think we had a negative one up on top, but the negative symbol stays on the 10. And then C would be the number by itself. So no, good. I mean, I know you only said A, but once you figure them out, they definitely go quicker. But yes, I don't think we had a negative one up top, so do know that if there's negatives, it stays with the number. Okay, so the axis of symmetry would be put a negative sign there, and then I put my B number. And then I do double A. So positive 10 over positive 10, which means my axis of symmetry is at 1. This is going to be my x number of the vertex. Taylor, do you think you remember how to find the second number, the y number, if we know the x? That's right. How do we find the second number? So a vertex has two numbers. It has an x and a y. Do you remember how to find the second number? Correct? Correct. So you take the equation you were given, and then you're going to put the number you just found in place of x. Good. So what do we have? 5 minus 10 plus 3. Negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2. That's going to be the y number. Let me put two of these up, two more examples up. I'd like you guys to see if you can find the entire thing on your own. Because honestly, if you can find both of them completely on your own, you're definitely good for the homework for today. And I don't mind helping you guys with it or walking you through it either. But I figure I might as well just, if you can do this, you are going to be good for whatever. So the goal is just find the vertex. I think that's right. See if you can figure out the vertex for both of these. I don't know if anybody tried doing their homework ahead of time or not. If you did, do know that I had the wrong questions written on the homework. I just changed it now so I didn't forget later. The homework that was originally written there was for if we did it all on Friday. I think there was only like 5 questions assigned. I changed it back because I forgot to before. Ella, were you able to get started on the first example? Like, do you think you could help me start? Sure. Can you just help me start the first one? All right. That's okay. If the sounds okay, that's fine. No problem. Let's call on Gracie then. That's all right, Ella. Gracie, do you think you could help me start it? What was the first thing you did? Good, but very close. B is going to be -4, and C is -10. I don't think that's what you said. So, I guess I didn't even think about that before, but definitely, if you get one of the A, B, and C numbers wrong, even if you do the whole rest of the problem right, I'm sure the final answer came out slightly wrong. But yes, so -4, -10. Good, that's the first step. Next thing we do is we find the axis of symmetry using those numbers that we just found. So the B was -4, so I'm doing the opposite of -4, doubling A. So my axis of symmetry is at x equals 2. So this is the x value of the vertex. Justice, do you remember how to find the second number? Nice, very good. So you take the answer you just found and put it in place of x. So we'd have 2 squared minus 4 times 2 minus 10. So 4 minus 8 is -4 minus 10 would be -14. So this would be the y value. So my vertex is at 2, -14. Good. Ian, do you think you could help me figure out A, B, and C from the second problem? Oh, maybe not. His thing is frozen. Carly, how about you? Do you think you could help me figure out the A, B, and C? Okay, thank you. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so then my first answer comes from those numbers. Okay, so the opposite of 2, I'm doubling 1, so there's my x value. Okay, good. Jack, how do I find that second number? Excellent. Excellent. So -1 squared plus 2 times -1 minus 15. I don't know what that is. 1 minus 2 minus 15, -1. -16? These are bigger. Granted, they probably came out worse because I just made the problems up. So this vertex would be at -1, -16. And it definitely feels a lot stranger finding the answers without a picture. Like, they feel like totally different questions. Okay. Nice. That's it for the topics for today. Do you guys just want me to put the homework up on the sharing screen here? And then when we come back from lunch, just log back onto Google Meet. You guys will get the whole time to work. It's probably not going to take you a half hour, but you're given the half hour. So kind of what I said on Friday still applies. So if you guys end up having extra time, probably, I'll just talk to you after lunch since half of you already left.